Hello, Planet Internet. I'm Emperor Cole, and this is Emperor Cole Film Review, brought to you by MindbenderENT.com. And today I'm here to review Deadpool 2, written by Rhett Reese, Paul Wernick, and Ryan Reynolds. Everybody, let's get ready to get those chimichangas, and let's see what this sequel is all about. Let's do it! This movie, Deadpool 2, of course, is the follow-up, the sequel to the original film, Deadpool, which was the smash hit in 2016. The original movie grossed over $700 million worldwide and was generally loved by the critics and audiences. So this movie had very high expectations and a lot to live up to across the board. As expected, this film is loaded with jokes and all kinds of sexual innuendos and all kinds of crude humor. That's expected of this film franchise because it's true to the character Deadpool and it's what he does in the comics. So this is what you're expecting from your Deadpool if you are a Deadpool fan. So now, one area where this movie definitely gets in trouble is it's a little too jokey and it gets a little too goofy around certain plot points in the film that are supposed to be serious. So if you have a moment where something that's supposed to have some gravity to it or some emotional weight, and then everybody's kind of joking in the next scene and cracking all kinds of sex jokes and things of that nature, it takes away from the emotional thing that just happened, or it takes away from what was supposed to be something that's supposed to be critical now to the mission or the danger that's now supposed to be in the air. It's all gone because everybody's laughing and joking and acting like it's not really a big thing. So that's one thing that did not work for me in this particular film. They went about maybe 15%, 15 to 20% too much humor in this movie. Another thing that could have been done a little bit better in this movie is with some of the jokes, they're very repetitive or very similar to what was done in the first film. And in this particular instance, I understand the phrase, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, but they could have at least done new jokes. After all, they had 2 years to get the script right and to decide what they wanted to do. Now, this is an instance where it took about 7 or 8 years to get the first Deadpool movie made because Fox wasn't 100% sure if people were going to be receptive to a very joke-ridden superhero movie. And of course, the first one was a hit. So then you don't have 6 or 7 years to make the sequel. You only got 2 years to make the next one. So maybe they didn't have as much time, or maybe the type of effort didn't go into making the second one. But like I said, some of the jokes are very repetitive. I feel like they should have come up with new jokes and new quips. Once again, Ryan Reynolds did a very good job with his portrayal of Deadpool. He's very entertaining as this character. Of course, his humor and his one-liners. He's very funny, and like I said before, this is the role I felt like he was destined to play. Very good job with his portrayal of Deadpool. Josh Brolin as Cable definitely stole the show. He did a very good job of having that gruff, futuristic look of just a soldier of fortune who's been through it all and seen it all. I wanted to get a little bit more of Cable's backstory because, of course, you see Cable with the technovirus, where half of his body is like his arm and his chest is being eaten by the technovirus, who's being changed from organic matter into a machine. So, of course, we want to know a little bit more about that. How did he get that? But if you know that storyline a little bit from the comic books, that's definitely a movie in itself. Also, Cable's from the future. That's not a spoiler because they let you know that in the actual trailer. So his device that he uses to time travel, I felt like that should have been explored a little bit more. Maybe they should have said who invented it. And of course, the future that he's from is a bleak future where things have gone completely wrong on Earth. So if you have the ability to time travel, that means some other people, I'm pretty sure, do too. Why don't you just go all the way back in time and stop the events that made things the way they were? So that's a question that I had on my mind, of course. And once again, we know in the plot point that he's from the future. They let you know this in the trailer. So that is not a spoiler that I'm speaking about him being from the future. With the way the character Cable is set up in this film, I feel like it's almost inevitable that Cable is going to have his own standalone film, or when they do the X-Force movie, they're going to have to dedicate a significant portion of the film to explaining the Cable's backstory. Another thing that I liked a lot about this movie is the fact that since it's a sequel, oftentimes sequels try to go bigger, and they go so much bigger that it becomes a little ridiculous. With this particular movie, they made it a smaller, self-contained story where the fate of the universe and the world is not on the line. Just like in part one, Deadpool is trying to save someone near and dear to him, and he's trying to make sure that person's safe, and that's his mission objective. So the whole entire universe and planet Earth or the United States, there's no big nuclear bomb or anything like that that's going to go off. It's a personal story to the character, and the character has something at stake, and there's a real reason why he's trying to take care of business and trying to make sure everything is taken care of. All right, so this movie has a lot of cameos in it, and I think they did a pretty good job with those cameos. But then once again, that kind of feeds into what I was saying before about the movie being a little too jokey in certain moments. So jokey that it becomes goofy. And there are some things that happens with some of these cameos, and it kind of makes you wonder, are they going to stick with that? Is that going to be something that's going to be, is that going to continue in the next film where that really happened? Or are they going to just say, oh no, that was just a joke for the sake of the movie? So that's something that gets a little bit confusing. This movie has a surprise cameo by a Marvel supervillain that was finally done right in this particular film. I won't say who, but it's somebody that when I saw him on the screen, I was like, oh man, finally they put this guy in a movie, and this is the way he's supposed to be, or just about properly supposed to be portrayed. So very good job with that surprise cameo. When you see it, you're going to know exactly who I'm talking about. If you've already seen the film, you know what I'm talking about. And if you haven't, once this guy pops up on the screen, you're going to go, wow. Another area of this film that I thought they did pretty well in was the love story element. They did a good job of showing the scenes with Ryan Reynolds and Maureen Baccarin, who played his girlfriend Vanessa. They showed the emotional, these heartwarming scenes between the two of them, where they really come across as a real loving couple, like two people who could be in a real relationship. So they did a good job of presenting the love story elements, those beats, without it weighing down the movie. So the movie does not particularly slow down for those parts, and they happen. They had the emotional impact. It goes over pretty well with the audience. It resonates pretty strong. But once again, like I said, it doesn't take you out of the movie. Okay, so overall, Deadpool 2 is a very entertaining film. It's got some things in it that would definitely have you laughing. The humor in this movie is nonstop. There's a whole lot of laughs, and it just keeps coming at you with more jokes. There are a couple points where the jokes and the humor goes a little bit off the rails and overboard, but that is kind of expected in a Deadpool film. But overall, I think you're going to enjoy the film. I enjoyed it. So on the Mindbender movie meter, I'm going to have to give Deadpool 2 a score of 79%. Deadpool 2, 79% on the Mindbender movie meter. Okay, so this has been Emperor Cole Film Review for Deadpool 2. If you enjoyed this review, definitely subscribe to this YouTube channel. And of course, make sure you check us out on Facebook at facebook.com/Mindbender Entertainment. Follow us on Instagram at Mindbender_entertainment. And of course, check us out on Twitter at MindbenderENT. So make sure you check out our sponsor for this particular episode, Kage Apparel. I'm going to put a link to their website down in the description of this video. Make sure you click that link. Go check them out. Maybe you can pick up some of this fresh urban apparel that I'm wearing right here. Check out this Kage Apparel. This is the heat that you should be wearing since 1998. So make sure you check us out at our social media. Check out Kage Apparel. And remember, the future is now.